За юу яцгаана? Энэ оны хамгийн сүүлийн спешиал дугаар болгоод юр бус гэж хэлхэнч багтах нэгэн зочноос ярилцлага авах боломж олдлоо. Түүний нэрийг Kodo Nishimura гэдэг бөгөөд Япон буддист лам. Гэхдээ зүгээр нэг лам биш. Ижил хүснэн бөгөөд LGBTQ activist, makeup artist, мөн түншлэн time сэтгүүлийн next generation leader байгаа. Өнөөдөр түүнээс хэрхэн өөрийнхөөрөө байх вэ гэдэг сэдвийг болон буддизмын талаар асуусан байгаа бөгөөд шууд гол ярилцлаганд орцгоё.
All right, so thanks for having today's call with me. And, as I explained to you before, I watched your documentary on MHK World, and I just surprised at how you have a soul and you have a very unique points. And I just want to contact you. And this is actually the last video of my channel. So first of all, thanks for answering today's call. And my first question is, I think I explained it in my early minutes, but I just want to hear your story. So what's your story and how you became a Buddhist monk and why you want to be a makeup artist?
Well, I became a Buddhist monk, especially because I was born in a Buddhist temple in Japan. My father is a Buddhist monk, and maybe you'll be surprised, but in Japan, monks can get married and welcome children. So that's how I came to be alive. When I was young, I wanted to be a princess. I dreamt of Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid and Sailor Moon. But because of the societal expectation that people expected me to follow the traditional image of Buddhist monks, I felt very pressured. And at the same time, I felt very isolated because of my sexuality. So I went to the US when I was 18, and that's when I started to study art and also makeup. I was always a big fan of beauty and makeup. Sailor Moon says makeup and then she transforms. So that's what I was dreaming about. And I started to assist a makeup artist in New York who was helping Miss Universe. And after graduating from university, I became a makeup artist in New York. And then at the same time, I wanted to know what is Buddhism, because I was very skeptical when I was younger. Like, how can we be liberated? How can we go to the Pure Land, which is like heaven, by chanting? Can you explain to me scientifically and logically? I was very kind of doubting the teachings. So in order to reveal all the secrets and understand what Buddhism is and how it is to become a Buddhist monk, I went to the monk training. And what I found out was that LGBTQ people and people who want to dress up just like me can be accepted and welcomed. I think a lot of people think that Buddhist monks are wearing something simple and kind of humble and no desire. And that's why I didn't want to be a monk. But when I talked to the master, he said, sexuality doesn't matter. And what you wear is not really related to the core message of Buddhism, which is that everybody can be equally liberated. So if you can deliver that message, I support you. Buddhism supports you for you being who you are. So now that's how I'm a makeup artist and also a Buddhist monk. And I'm combining these, something kind of physical and something internal, to encourage other people. Maybe you feel that you're different from other people, like how I used to feel, but there is actually nothing wrong being unique. So I'm here to support everybody from inside and out.
That's a very great story. That's inspiring. Thank you very much.
Thank you. May I call you Buri-san or Buri-den? How do I call you?
Yeah, I think Buri-san is better.
Okay.
Thank you. Is it okay to call you Kodo-san?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so that was a great story. And you have a lot of identity, So you are a monk and you are also LGBTQ activist, and at the same time you are a makeup artist. And I think that's very, very unique, since I don't know somebody else like you. So my question is like being minority is not comfortable, because since we all belong to some society, and smaller being true to myself is one of the hardest thing ever, because people want to be liked by everyone, even though they know it's not possible, right? So especially for the people who I love may hate me because of who I am. So sometimes we fake ourselves to achieve what we really want. So what's your opinion on it? Is it okay or
It's totally okay to hide yourself. Sometimes it's necessary. For example, when I was younger, if I were to say that I'm homosexual, I'm sure I suffered a lot of discrimination and kind of violence. And still today there are many countries where it's not safe for people to express who they are because of religious reasons or cultural reasons. You can be jailed for being part of the LGBTQ community in more than 71 countries, which you should hide, But I think it's really important to find people who you can be yourself with. For example, when I was young, I would be online and I would go to a website called gay.com, and I was able to find some friends who I could make friends discreetly. So little by little, I started to know that I'm not alone. This concern that I have is not just mine. There are many, many people who are struggling with being different. And when I went to Spain or New York, I met LGBTQ leaders and professors, and I learned about people who are thriving regardless of their sexuality or differences. So what was my normal in Japan was not the normal everywhere. I learned that no matter the body type or religion or skin color, we can all celebrate ourselves. So little by little, knowing who you are by studying different cultures, traveling, meeting people from different backgrounds, studying the history. I think these are something that help you to be somewhat comfortable with your uniqueness.
I see, that was great answer, but sometimes it's very hard to express myself to especially for my best friends. It's like everyone has a different, of course, but as example, when I was a kid, I used to live with my mom at some kind of very, very like old apartment, and everyone else in my classmate were kind of rich, So, and I'm pretty sure that I was the poorest kid in my school, and it was so hard to like tell to my friends that I live here or something like this. So, but now I think I'm okay because I'm an adult, and I like yeah, I acknowledge everything. But for the kids who is in a situation like same situation like me, I think you have some advice. So if you have something to say, like, what's your opinion on it?
Yes. I was watching your previous episode with Honda Ken-san, right?
Yeah.
And he said you have to be unique, otherwise you won't stand out. And I think that was very true. I was seen as crazy, but I always told myself, you're not wrong. It's just people around you who don't understand. So even though people don't accept you or welcome you or celebrate you, it doesn't mean that you are wrong. And I think these people now are making changes in the world. And I think just know that what's normal to them, it's not the only answer. There are many, many ways to be successful, even if you don't listen to what people around you tell you. There are so many skills that you might have that they don't have. You might live in a different era than they used to live. For example, my grandparents and my parents, going to university was something important for them. But right now, there are many people who are succeeding without the experience of universities. So we can't really simplify the formula of success anymore.
Yeah. And next question is, you never been in Mongolia, right?
No, but I was helping Miss Mongolia during Miss Universe competition, and
I heard that.
I got friends with some of them, and one of them spoke Japanese, so that's my only connection with Mongolia.
I see. So my previous question was, it's like a connection of being true to myself to external world, but this question is being true to myself in our inner like heart or our inner soul. So just to give you a brief background information, Mongolia is a very close community, and we live very close to each other. We live with our family until we get 20 or 30, or it's very common thing in Mongolia, because that's why if you do something crazy consciously or unconsciously, every people you know will know soon. That's why when we do or when we start something new, most people care about what other people think first. So my question is how to be courage to live true to yourself, and how to be courage to like start or do whatever you want.
I think it's scary to do something that other people are not doing, but for me, it was coming out as homosexual publicly. And I wanted to do that because I know there are people who want to come out, who want to keep role playing as princesses. And there are mothers who are having concerns, like my mother, how she used to get worried about my sexuality. And there is nothing wrong being homosexual. So I wanted to not stand up for myself, but for others as well. For example, when my best friend is bullied by a friend, another friend or something, I can stand up for them easier than like saying no to when I am bullied. I can be like more courageous, like, don't do this to my friend, like, what are you doing? And I can push back stronger than when it was in my case. So I think it's the same, not just for me, but stand up for other people, because that's when you have like a little more like a magical supporting power. And I think that really encourages you to change the world for the better for other people as well. So that's how I collect my courage.
That's a very huge answer. I think I have some familiar experience. Like, I don't go fight a lot because I'm adult now. But like when I had a fight, the whole fight was not for myself. All fight was to protect our friends, or if my friends get bullied, I get stand up against bullying kids or something like that. So yeah, that's very simple, but I feel like it's very common for all like genders and all ages people. All right, so actually I am a big fan of Buddhism. I uploaded some Buddhism books previously in my channel, and I learned the let go philosophy from Buddhism, and it helped me a lot to handle my emotions. But since I'm just a human, even though I understand the theory, but sometimes I get sad or pissed off or whatever. And you are a monk, but it doesn't mean that you completely conquered your all emotions, right? So when was the last time you felt you are depressed, and how did you manage it?
The last time I was very upset for many years is when a wife of a monk in a rural area, my acquaintance, realized that I'm a homosexual, and she said homosexuality is a fruit of hormonal corruption because your mother consumed food additives and colorings. Your hormone got weird, and that's why you're homosexual. That's what she told me, and I was very, very furious, and I couldn't resist but get angry, and I wanted to wish the worst for her, and my skin got really irritated, and I couldn't sleep because I was too emotional. But later, I found a teaching from Buddhism that says conquer anger by not getting angry. And I was like, how can I do that? Like, I'm angry. But when I was angry, I also remembered that everything has a reason. And I remember that this wife of a Buddhist monk, she was not allowed to travel outside or go outside to do volunteers. She wasn't allowed to study because she's a woman. She always had to stay in the temple to be ready for guests anytime. She had to learn how to do like tea ceremony and sewing, Japanese robe stitching so that she can fix everything. So I kind of learned that, well, I have freedom. I was able to study art in New York. I was educated in university. I traveled so much, and I'm a free person. And when I think about that, maybe it was a way for her to say, please help me. And rather than blaming her for ignorance, I realized that maybe I should provide more activities to help everybody have the same opportunity to study or have enough resources to learn about the world. So of course it's important to talk about LGBTQ people, but everybody needs to have basic needs and equal opportunities. So when I learned that, I felt that, oh, I was so angry about her, but it's not really her, but it's the situation, it's the consequence of the malfunctioning hierarchy system or inequality that exists in the world. So when I got the lesson, I was not angry anymore. So it's okay to get angry. I'm not telling you to suppress your anger. Like, don't be angry. Don't be angry. No, it's not like that. Be angry and understand, think about why they are making us angry, because I think it's a reflection of how they are feeling. So I think it's important to analyze, because it's something that you care. I care that I'm a homosexual person and I'm proud. So if I'm kind of made fun for that, I got angry. If I don't care, I don't get angry. So I learned about also what I care and why they are getting angry. So this type of thinking really helps it takes time, but to be a little bit more calm in the end. Can I give like 3 tips?
Yeah, sure, please.
So first, question why it happens, analyze it, and then flip the situation. Maybe she was, crazy saying that, but maybe it's her situation. Maybe it's not her that's bad. So it's like flipping. And then in the end, I become the change that I want to see in the world, like being said by Gandhi. I want to be the one who kind of change a weird situation into something a little bit more just and hopeful. So think about it, flip it, and be the change you want to see in the world. So that's my advice.
That's actually inspiring advice. Thank you. My next question is this may be pretty simple, but I think it's very interesting for my audience who are listening now. So you are such a busy and you do a lot of things, right? So now you are in London and you already published your books in Japan, but you also like promoting in the European area, right? So you do a lot of things, and I guess you can tell us about what makes life more interesting, because people who are living in a society is like going to work and get back to home and touch with their family or friends, and they go sleep, and it's just a routine of doing every like same things like every day. So what makes a little bit of spice to someone's life, and what makes more interesting?
Thank you. For me, changing my lifestyle is so exciting for me. Sometimes, like right now, I am trying to accommodate to London. I was buying pillows and I was buying pens and building a new life. And it was, of course, difficult to, still difficult, but it's kind of fun. So I wanted to, first Japan to the US. I went to Boston, and then I went to New York, I went to LA, and I went to Japan, and now in London. So changing the lifestyle is like a huge spice. It's a little bit too spicy, but this is how I keep my life fun. I like traveling. I like starting to watch a different series or buying new board games. Something that changes your lifestyle, and you are forced to go out of the comfort zone. When it's hard, but in the process, like, you learn and it gets fun. I think the process of like becoming better at something is something fun. So I intentionally keep it changing.
That's great. But in my opinion, like starting or such as moving another country or etc. is like very risky, and you have to sacrifice a lot of things, such as maybe your future, right? So maybe sometimes like people think that I want to quit this job, but at the same time it's so risky because you have built your own career at the company. Maybe the new company will not accept, or maybe if you want to start some startup, maybe you get failed or something like that. But
Right.
in the true heart, like, we all want to challenge, we all want to like have some, very risky life, but in the reality it's very hard. So what is your advice of it, like?
I think my advice would be, you don't have to keep it changing, but it's not going to be as exciting. It's like, do you want to join the roller coaster in a theme park? If you don't, it's okay. But if you want to, then it's going to be exciting. I don't know if you're going to like it, but it's a choice. And I think I don't want to force anybody to move or take risks. I think every person is living in different timing, and when they think that they are ready to start a new business, or when they feel that they had enough experience from one place, then you can move. But it's not something that I force you to do. For me, it was spontaneous. I was worried, but I wanted to learn more. I wanted to grow bigger. I wanted to study how equality or discrimination is treated in Europe. So it was out of curiosity. Even if I would fail, I wouldn't care because it's something fun for me.
Like yeah, I think it was very, very great answer, because like in the Mongolia, like a lot of influencers says like you have to challenge yourself and you have to start your own business, you have to quit your job and etc. And that's why like a lot of youth get stressed out of what they are actually doing now. And I think it's okay to just live very peacefully, live with your family and continuing your job. And yeah, I think it's a very wonderful thing, because you don't have to get successful and you don't have to like make $1 million or something like that. So yeah,
Right.
so saying that.
I think happiness depends on each person. Some person wants stability, and living a comfortable life with friends and family will be their happiness. For me, changing, challenging, evolving brings happiness to me. So I think we don't have to be pressured to make different changes or take risks, because it might not be your happiness. So it is really up to you to decide what you want to do, how you think you will feel happiness. So it's not, there is no like 100% formula. So I think you have to have a dialogue with yourself. Remember when you felt happiness, and ask other people, like, when am I looking happy? Like, what topics do I get excited about? So that's how you can kind of learn who you are.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, my next question is, I think it may be a bit personal question, but I actually usually attracted to women who really give up to be liked by everyone and just being themselves. And so my question is, what kind of people do you feel most beautiful or most sexy?
I have experience working for Miss Universe, and there were so many beautiful women competing. And there was one lady who really stood out to me. She was Miss Venezuela from 2013, and she was really beautiful to begin with. But when I met her, I was doing makeup for her. I told my name. My name is Kodo, and she remembered my name. And the next morning, everybody else was like busy, presenting themselves. But she was calling my name, like "Hola, Kodo," and "How are you?" And she kept remembering my name and calling me until the end of the competition for like 3 weeks. And she made me feel really valuable. She made me feel that I'm worthy to be there, because it was my first year working as a makeup artist, and everybody was so senior, and I was like, am I good enough to be here? But for her to remember my name and make me feel beautiful, I was really enchanted, and I still feel so flowery about that experience. So it doesn't matter how beautiful or how smart or how nice they are, but I like people who make me feel beautiful inside.
So I want to close this talk by asking your favorite Buddhism philosophy. So what's your favorite one?
My favorite one is, it's a sin to lie to your heart. You always have to be honest to yourself, because as long as you're lying to yourself, it's not comfortable, and you might start blaming other people or being frustrated, and you are not going to be able to be nice to other people. So you have to listen to yourself and allow yourself to be sincere and free. And if you're happy, I think that happiness is going to be reflected onto other people and then back to you later.
That's great. All right. So the interview was done right here, and thank you very much for your time. And I think it
Thank
was,
you.
I watched a lot of podcasts and a lot of interview videos which made in Mongolia, but I'm pretty sure this one is the most enchanting and most wonderful one that
Thank
this
you.
right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So my book, This Monk Wears Seals, is now available in 8 languages if you're interested. And I am also in a show called Planet Sex with Kala Derabin on BBC and Hulu. So I'm in one of the episodes, episode 2. She came to my house in Tokyo and we went to the Pride Parade together. So if you're interested, you can see my house and me with makeup and me with monk robe. So that would be maybe interesting.
Oh, that's nice. So your book is available in Kindle or?
Yes, also
Really?
in audiobook.
Oh, that's great. So everyone is accessible who can understand and other languages. All right, that's
Thank you
great.
so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。